this. They are not getting access to their house. They really had no idea when they were going to get access to their house. It's like two different worlds. You guys are talking about rebuilding. They're worried about their houses turning into mold and they can't even get out there. So can somebody say something to the residents?
So I was there on the ground a few days ago with Mayor Murphy and the fire chief of Farmers Beach and the search and urban rescue crew. And the search and urban rescue crew basically asked the town of Farmers Beach, and we give them that latitude because it's their town, what do they need to finish searching for survivors and recovery of victims with dignity. And they were saying it's all on us. The fire department says we're ordering this. We're ordering the evacuation, the mandatory evacuation, because they wanted to have access to the houses without all the people driving through, because the roads were open. So they were having a lot of people come in, just taking pictures, looky-loos. So for the crews there, they wanted it, and this was the town of Farmers Beach, and the fire chief and their commission supported that. That was the whole action was taken by them. Again, they're just trying to get that and understand people are trying to get back there, and we want to get back there as fast as possible. But when they have crews that are still searching, I'm not sure how everybody here has when they're actually going to be done searching.
How is it that people can get to Sanibel? It's not even a bridge, and there are already people going back to Sanibel, and people on Fort Myers Beach have no clue when they get back.
Right. So Commissioner Wayne, you want to respond to that? Because we've been working with the mayor of Sanibel, and that's a different situation because most of the people in Sanibel left the island, and then Farmers Beach still have people there.
Sure. I think the two differences between the beach, first and foremost, we honor every city's requests. Okay, so City of Sanibel obviously put a curfew in effect. They provided navigation. The island was cleared. There's less than 10 people there. There's a curfew at 7 o'clock. They have to get off the island. Again, I think people need to understand during Hurricane Charlie, we were closed for 5 days. When you look at the storm and the impact we've had, the fact that Fort Myers Beach is going to be open this weekend, and I understand the frustration, day 10, but again, we're looking to save life. We're looking to listen to the first responders, and the city is a charter. That's exactly what they asked to do. We followed their lead, and that's exactly what they want us to do.
Just one more question about Fort Myers Beach. There's 4 commissioners here, and it's obviously a quorum. We asked Fort Myers Beach Town Council why they haven't met, and they said because they couldn't properly notice the community. That's why they haven't had a meeting. Sanibel's been meeting every night on Facebook, telling their residents what's going on. Why aren't they meeting?
Well, the difference, I can tell you, Sanibel all went to Bell Tower together. So they've had the opportunity to be together. They've had the attorney there, they have the city manager there, and there was their planning to do so. That's how they published the meeting. I think the challenges you have on the beach, obviously, is there was no coordination of where people were going to be. I know they were looking for the county manager for a couple of days, the actual mayor a couple of days. So again, no one planned for this to occur. We could always go back and look backwards. Let's move forward. Let's look at the fact that we are going to open up. Let's look at the fact that we are going to move forward. And again, what took place? A storm of this size. Again, when I was on Sanibel, we were closed for 5 days during Charlie. I don't mean to diminish what Charlie was, but this storm is going to be by far the largest storm and the greatest impact that you've ever seen. So just remember, everybody, patience is really a virtue. It's day 8. Thank you.
I do want to say the county staff has been working with the city council the best they can. They've been printing stuff out here and taking it down there to them to try to get, because they lost their city hall, and most of the council members of Fort Myers Beach lost their homes too. So we're working basically with a government that really is hard to function right now. So we're helping. Our staff's been working in the state, and the FEMA has been working with them trying to get back. It's just so destructive what happened. I know you, Ed, I'm sure you're okay, but it's unbelievable what happened. So we are given, like Kevin said, we're giving the city the latitude. This is their city. What do you want us to do? How can we help? If they ask us to do something different, we'll do it. But right now, they asked for this action at the beach. Roger, you want to comment?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Fort Myers Beach, as you know, was hit the hardest, has the most amount of destruction and the greatest number of fatalities. We've been working with the federal and state government and residents of Fort Myers Beach. And so, over the next few days, here's what will happen. The search and rescue teams will finish their final sweep for survivors and for fatalities probably this weekend. It's a slow, arduous process, but they should be completed. They should be complete this weekend. Next week, we have plans. We're working with some of the condominium associations that are bringing generators to the island, along with the electricians to attach those generators to some of those condo buildings in order to fire up the air conditioning and keep all those condominiums from developing an awful lot of mold. The State Department of Emergency Management will be establishing a micro command center down at Fort Myers Beach, as well as the other barrier islands, sometime over the next couple of days. And those centers will be staffed with state emergency management personnel, as well as Lee County personnel at the same time. So our goal is to begin to provide more services to the barrier islands and to help coordinate with the cities so they too can begin to recover at a pace greater than what they're currently experiencing.
Is the Port Authority responsible for the decrease in the number of flights? Is it their decision or is it the carriers?
It'd be the carriers, they control that. We just facilitate what's needed from the carriers. So the carriers are booking flights based upon the needs.
Has any of the carriers been approached about their getting in so that people can leave?
I've not known that, so we can check with Ben about that, but any other questions?
Do we have a clear answer as to when residents can get back on Fort Myers Beach? I hear you guys saying this weekend. Do we have a
It could be Saturday, it could be Sunday. We're not aware of that. Like I said, it's urban search and rescue is there now going through. And once they finish every house is placard and they're cleared, then we'll ask, the beach will make that decision. When will they open it up to? And I know their city managers involved with that discussion with the search and urban rescue. And they'll be working with our state emergency management people too, to make that announcement. And then obviously the residents only will be allowed to go in there with proper ID.
Fire chief said last time it might be in segments, that north of Times Square is cleared, people up north can go, south is cleared, then some point south can go. Is that what you understand the way it's going to be?
I'm not aware of that. Roger, have you heard that?
The fire chief in this case is probably the best source of information, but based on what you've just said, that's a very typical way to bring people back onto a barrier island.
Just so that I can understand the flushing of the pipes and the unincorporated.
Mhm.
Could you explain again just what you're trying to do to get anything out that might be suspicious?
So when the storm hit and the storm surge came on shore, it causes utility pipes to shift in place. And when we have about 60 pounds of pressure in those pipes for the conveyance system, when those pipes shift, they crack and then they develop leaks. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're, very large break in the pipes. When that happens, some of the debris, dirt, and other contaminants get into the pipes when they've been repaired. In order to lift the boil water order, we have to make sure that all of that water is flushed, the contaminated water, and by state law, we have to have two lab results that are clear of any bacteria or other contaminants.
Commissioner Pendergrass, I believe yesterday you said something that the Lee County was preparing to build somewhere around 10,000 homes, whether it be like FEMA trailers or apartments. Could you clarify those comments, and is that still a plan?
So it wouldn't be really Lee County building that. We already had dedication, commitment from the governor and from the president, working with FEMA to have housing up to over 10,000. And they said there's no problem. They should be able to provide that for our area if needed, though, based upon people who's been displaced.
And is it the commissioner's collective belief still that the decision to not push out evacuations until the day before Hurricane Ian made landfall, whereas in Irma it was 3 days before? Do you still believe that was appropriate? I believe it was
So
appropriate.
that wasn't a commission decision. That was based upon emergency standards, and it wasn't a day before. It was 3 days. It was 32-hour notice for Zone A, and then Zone B was after that. So that decision is made by experts here based upon the forecasts, not just the cone and that data. So that's something the commission doesn't vote on. It's done by emergency management services, though. But I stand behind with their actions, though.
do we have an update on the death toll countywide?
I have not had that today. Roger, do you have any information on that?
I'm sorry, I don't have that exact number, but that information is in the hands of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And if you go to their website, you'll be able to find the information there.
At some point, is the county just flat out of the prospect of building enough homes for people who have lived here before? I mean, at some point, you have to close the door.
Well, I think that, Bill, the short answer to that is we are prohibited from closing the door. people have private property rights, and if there's proper zoning, then people can continue to build homes. So, that, I'm not so sure that that's not even a consideration.
What's the entity that condemns the homes in Lake County? Is it the local municipality or is it the county? Because there are a lot of homes that are gonna be condemned on Fort Myers Beach, maybe even before they get back there. So who's responsible for that? So the team this morning, they said it wasn't them.
No, it's not FEMA. If it's in one of the cities, it is the city's responsibility, and in this case, the town of Fort Myers Beach. And if it's in the unincorporated area, it would be the Lee County Chief Building Official.
Any of them? Sorry, go ahead.
You guys talked about the importance of clearing the debris off of all of these right of ways. What contractor are you guys working with to get all of that and where is it going?
The contractors, the company is Crowder Gulf Corporation. After Hurricane Irma, we had a competitive process to put debris removal companies under contract. Crowder Gulf won that contract. There are 8 debris removal sites around Lee County. And if you go to our Lee County website, leegov.com, you'll be able to see exactly where those sites are.
Any update on South Bridge to get to Fort Myers Beach? The one that's.
Oh, the bridge, the bridges to the south, not yet. We are still working with the State Department of Transportation to assess the damage and then determine whether or not we can do temporary fixes for those bridges and open lanes to very limited traffic.
Any other questions? Any other questions?